Good evening, everyone, and welcome to 2017. I was working with somebody in Cleveland today interested in environmental law, and we saw some things on Westlaw and practical law that I think might be helpful to you. So let's go live and take a look at it right now. All right, so start with practical law. That's from the drop-down wedge here or from the lawschool.westlaw.com site. I started in practical law because when I don't understand the substantive law, I don't even know what it is. This is a great place to start, written by AmLaw 200 alums and other experts that can help you get the grasp of any of these areas over here. But what about environmental law? I don't see that under the topics list, Sam. What do? You run a search, right? Environmental law, because I don't know what the governing laws might be or which agencies do what. Guess what? Practice note overview, fantastic place to start. The general practice notes themselves over here, very much more in depth. You can check out more of these resource types if you find that you like a particular one better than the other. But just clicking on that first one there, environmental law overview, will actually tell you that this is the body of environmental law. These are the things that we talk about. This is the regulatory framework. Interesting. And these are the agencies that have something to do with that. Wow, that's pretty interesting too. And as you can see here, this is, again, an overview because this is not nearly in depth enough to actually run with stuff and practice. So what you can do once you get some idea of these general ideas is to actually branch out into some of this related content here at the bottom, right? For instance, oh, I'm interested in environmental law specifically as it has to do with zoning and land use, or because I'm interested in a particular development issue, or because I need to draft an indemnity agreement because purchasing this property contains with it certain types of risks associated with environmental law. You can see those things and you can also run searches for them because, for instance, common task in environmental law might be something like environmental impact, whether that's an environmental impact statement, environmental impact review. And again, seeing these things from here will connect you to not only the here's what you need to know and here are the steps, but actually, again, environmental review step by step. And that is pretty cool. Now, once you are looking at this, you can, of course, save it to folders and do everything else that you can do with these Westlaw buttons over here. So again, getting that into the folder, saving that, sharing that with friends, and you name that. So again, at the bottom of any practical law article, links to related content on practical law. And that is something nifty that you can do. Again, looking over here, if you don't see your practice law area from here, you can run some searches over there. Obviously, there are many more sophisticated environmental law topics. Run some searches in practical law. You may be surprised by what you find. Now, bridging over into Westlaw, a couple things that might be exceptionally helpful. Obviously, cases, statutes, great. We've talked about those a bajillion times. I'd love to talk with you about them a bit more, but let me focus on some stuff that you probably haven't heard of or used yet. McQuillan's Law of Municipal Corporations is an extremely well-cited and respected secondary source when you're talking about local governments. And specifically when we're talking about municipal institutions and corporations, something maybe like Superfund liability. What is Superfund? Why is it important? I'll let you figure that one out. I looked at it. I found it out on practical law. So if I can do that, you can too. As you can see here, running a search and pulling up some articles in 53 actually tells you that there's an entire chapter in McQuillan 53A on environmental liability. Hit that table of contents button. You can actually see there are quite a few related ideas here as pertain to environmental liability of your municipality and even different kind of subtopics related to, for instance, cleanup under Superfund and the different exceptions to that. Once your inquiry gets very precise, check out McQuillan or even just some of these municipal law sources if you're thinking about zoning, for instance, or other environmental law issues related to that. Now, on to the most exciting thing, at least for me personally, and that is trials, litigation, fun stuff. So here, let's go into proof of facts, because obviously anytime you're going to be suing under one of these statutes, there's going to be some question of proving standing, right? You remember your con law classes. Injury in fact, nexus, redressability, all those fun things from 1L year. So let's actually talk about that here. So I know that one of the statutes that governs environmental impact is this NEPA or NEPA or however you want to pronounce it. And as you can actually see here, there are a couple things under proof of facts that are going to be super helpful. One is actually a citizen suit for injunctive relief. Why? Because we want them to comply with some provision that we believe that is not being complied with. Okay, great. What about necessity and sufficiency of the environmental impact statements? Maybe it wasn't necessary or the statement wasn't sufficient. Again, proofs of facts for those things. Even other citizen suit claims, you could even run a search here for standing citizen suits and find other great articles as pertaining to as proof of standing in environmental citizen suits. Why do you care about things that are in proof of facts? Well, for the same reason that you care about things that are in practical law, which is that you might not be interested in the whole corpus of law on a particular topic, but you're only interested in a particular standing to assert a particular type of claim. And as you can see here, that this connects you not only to the provisions of the governing primary law, but also any of the practice guide type requirements and links to the case law that back it up. Within something like proof of facts, a Westlaw exclusive, are things like model questions and answers, which are quite helpful in the business of actually understanding what this case is about, right? So here we're talking about the testimony of a certain witness that actually will help prove standing. Hey, and guess what? There's expert testimony to prove injury in fact. There's model foundation. There's all of that other great stuff. So those are the three things within Westlaw, proof of facts, and McQuillan and other municipal treatises. Within practical law, things like the practice notes. And if you have any other questions from the lawschool.westlaw.com site, connect with your account manager over here or dial 1-800-WESTLAW with your questions. Any other walkthroughs and other fun stuff, check out Lindy Hop Lawyer. I will upload more cool things through the semester. And you can also drop me a line on there so that way you can have a walkthrough for you too. That's everything out of me. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk with you again next time. Bye, everyone.